What's up, y'all? It's me, E-Man from E-Man's Movie Reviews. Welcome back to episode 14 of the recap with E-Man as I catch you up on some of the latest entertainment news that you might have missed out on. In today's episode, we're going to talk about some movies that are getting delayed. We're going to definitely get back into some Michael Keaton coming back as Batman news. And there have been some sequels that are coming up that you might actually be interested in. Plus, did Anthony Mackie call Marvel racist? I'll give you my thoughts on that coming up next. So, it's been a minute since my last full episode, and I'm back. I'm feeling a lot better, given all the craziness that's been going on in society today. And if you'll give me just a second, I just wanted to get some stuff off my chest real quick. I know there are a number of you out there who, don't really like dealing with race, or, you might have the benefit of not having to experience racial issues in your personal lives. And I'm not knocking anyone, that might apply to. But all I'm saying is that I'm not in the same boat. In case you haven't noticed, I'm black. I know, breaking news. But what that means is that there are going to be times when, I'm going to speak on racial issues. Because I can identify with them. I can empathize with them. But for the sake of this channel, I'm not going to sit here and get into politics or anything like that. That's not the purpose of this channel. However, I will do my best to keep it related to the movie and TV industry, because that's kind of what happens with art, which is cinema, TV, and all that, and real life. The two always cross one another. So if for whatever reason you might have thought that me, as a black film critic, was just going to ignore how race impacts movies and TV and the entertainment world, I'm just letting you know that you're sadly mistaken. I mean, I'm not going to insult anyone. I'm not going to bash anyone over the head. But you better believe I'm not going to hold back my opinion either. So, just kind of giving you guys the heads up. But anyway, let's get on to the news. So, in case you haven't been following, AMC had recently came out and said that they were going to reopen. And part of their plan for reopening was that they were not going to initially mandate that the guests were to wear face masks. They kind of said this because they didn't want to get political. They didn't want this to be a political issue, right? And, I guess that's kind of understandable, because for whatever reason, people are making a public health issue a political one, which still kind of blows my mind, because look, at the end of the day, face masks are not meant to be worn all day long. Face masks are only meant to be worn when you're in the vicinity of other people. If you're not, take it off, put it down. It's okay. It's really just meant to make sure that you, who could be asymptomatic, don't cause issues for other people, that you're not spreading it. That's all. No one is saying you have to suffocate or anything crazy like that. But whatever. People are making this political. Again, it's ridiculous. But AMC has actually gotten some pushback when they made this announcement. And I want to say a day or two later, they were like, yeah, we changed our mind. All right, everybody's got to wear a mask now. So they were initially saying you don't have to wear a mask, but the employees would still have to wear them. But now they're backtracking that, and everybody, from the employees to the guests, they will be mandating for everyone to wear their masks. Now, this is kind of messed up, because there's like a ripple effect that's happening, right? Because there's been such a pushback from other people in different states who are anti-maskers or whatever. We've gotten a really huge spike, as a country in coronavirus, cases. Yes, there's been more testing, but there's also been people that are just ignoring the safety, procedures and calls. So what happens to that, and how does that affect the movie industry? Guys, they done pushed back Tenet! Oh, this was the only movie I was super excited for to come back in the theaters in July But Tenet, Christopher Nolan's time travel whatever movie, has now officially been delayed. This hurts. I don't like it, but I get it. You know, unfortunately, if people had just practiced social distancing and just put on a mask when they were needed, we could have just been right back to business. Movie theaters could have been opened in July, right now, as we were kind of planning on it. But no, now it's looking like we got to wait until August. Tenet is not going to come out until August 12th. Given the pattern of what's happened before, there's a very good probability that Wonder Woman is also going to get delayed as well. WB really wants to cash in on the Tenet movie, which totally makes sense because Tenet is going to be like the only big blockbuster movie that's going to come out, and there's not going to be any real competition given the fact that everybody can't wait to, you know, just be out freer and out of quarantine and stuff like that. Tenet is going to kill in the box office. So I think WB is like, you know what, we're not about to sit here and drop it on, you know, demand or whatever. That's, you know, why are you trying to make like $100 million when you could make probably $600 to $700 million when there's no competition, you're dominating the box office, and the movie probably is going to be really good. So, you know, and you know, for Christopher Nolan movies, you got to watch them at least twice. Like, there's no way you're going to watch these mind-blowing movies and just completely get everything in the first sitting. Also, I just heard that Mulan is also getting pushed back to an August release too. So, you know, this is just going to be a complete ripple effect that's just going to affect everything and just keep delaying movies until, as a country, we just get it together. Speaking of reboots, Margot Robbie is going to be starring in the brand new female-led Pirates of the Caribbean reboot from Disney, and they are going to take Christina Hodson from, she was the writer in Birds of Prey, and they're going to pair up again, and that's going to give us another Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, look, I was already turned off from Pirates of the Caribbean. I want to say after like the third or fourth one. I don't. How many do they have now? Like 6, 7? I don't know. Whatever. I mean, Johnny Depp was cool. It was funny, you know, for a little while, but then they just kept milking it and milking it and milking it. And after a while, it was just kind of like, I don't care anymore. But Margot Robbie's doing this next one. I have to be honest, I'm not all that optimistic about it. I love Margot Robbie. So fun. But at the same time, like, it's more of the issue with this franchise. Like, I don't know if I needed another Pirates of the... I don't know if I have the tolerance to sit down and watch another Pirates of the Caribbean. And then, you know, like, hopefully they're not trying to force this to be a all-female thing. Like, because then it's going to feel awkward, you know. Now, if it comes together organically and naturally, fine. I don't care. You know, if you want to have a female-led pirate movie, that's not an issue. But, you know, if it does kind of feel forced and they're just doing it just to do it, rather than telling, like, a compellingly new story, I don't really care. But we'll see what happens. Maybe this will actually be something better for Disney Plus, you know, something that people could just sit at home and watch. But I don't really see it being like a blockbuster hit the same way that the other 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Pirates of the Caribbeans were. Now, we do have some good news, by the way, and this is more on the TV side. The Boys Season 2 is coming out, and it will be coming September 4th this year. I am super pumped for this. Matter of fact, I'm about to re-watch The Boys Season 1. I absolutely loved that series. I might actually do some videos or something on it too and cover it every episode. But I love The Boys. The Boys is such a, you know, it just felt so authentic as a series. It felt so real. I loved all the actors, the story. I'm very, very interested to see where they go with it. I've actually tried my best to stay away from the original comics. because this is based on an actual comic series, mainly because I just didn't want any spoilers. So I'm going to avoid looking into the comics and just kind of, absorb what the show has to give me. But yes, season 2 is coming. I can't wait. I think it is going to be awesome. Now, on to some sequel news. Gerard Butler had came out recently during an interview, and he mentioned that the Angel Has Fallen, all the Fallen series, they're going to do a sequel. So I don't know what they're going to call it. Maybe Heaven Has Fallen, Earth Has Fallen. I don't know. But they're going to do a sequel for it. Look, I'm an action junkie, okay? I love action movies. But I kind of feel like Angel Has Fallen was kind of the point where you were doing a little too much. Look, Olympus Has Fallen, London Has Fallen. Good. I like both of those movies. Those were cool. Angel Has Fallen, it was kind of a stretch. It was kind of like, all right, y'all definitely milking this one for real, for real. To do another one, though, I don't know. But I will say, Butler also mentioned that he was going to do a sequel for Den of Thieves. Okay, now we're talking. Den of Thieves. If you haven't seen Den of Thieves, it is a very underrated movie, I think. I don't know if it's still on there, but last time I saw it was on Netflix, and that was a pretty good movie. The only knock I'd give to Den of Thieves was just the fact that it was like overly macho in a sense. Like it was just oozing machismo, like just all these stereotypical macho stuff, masculine things was just all in this movie. So if you happen to be, a super woke liberal person or whatever, prepare to be a little triggered, but whatever. I like the idea that they're going to do a sequel for it. The best thing about Den of Thieves is the ending. I'm not going to spoil it, obviously, for those of you who haven't seen it. But, it is a little unfortunate given the news. Butler was saying that, 50 Cent is not going to come back, or Pablo Schreiber. They won't be in the sequel. So are you excited for a Den of Thieves sequel? Let me know in the comments. Okay, so Michael Keaton is coming back as Batman, or at least he's in talks right now. I should say that. He's in talks to come back as Batman in the Flashpoint movie starring Ezra Miller. I already did a video. If you check out the last episode of the recap, I already went over that breaking news when it happened. There has been a new rumor that has come out that suggested that if, for whatever reason, and it does seem unlikely, Michael Keaton does not sign on to be Batman, WB is going to try and pursue Christian Bale. So we'll see what happens with that. Like I said, I think it's highly probable that Michael Keaton will be coming back. I mean, like, come on now, Michael Keaton. Like, you were made for this, man. Like, you got this. And the fans want it too. So I think he will be coming back. Just some new updated news about his potential return. If and when he does, he will be wearing the costume again. So it's not just him as an old guy as Bruce. Like, he will be in costume. But one problem that came from this news was that Thomas Wayne was not going to be included. Or better yet, Thomas Wayne, the character, is not in the current script of the Flashpoint. WB, fix it. Fix the script. For those of you who don't know, Flashpoint is a story based on the comics, and it has to do with the Flash going back in time, trying to save a loved one, and, he ends up screwing up the timeline, in classic Barry Allen fashion. But Thomas Wayne is an essential character to that story. Now, some people will be out there and they'll say, like, hey, what's the big deal if Thomas Wayne is not in the movie? Well, it's kind of like saying, if the Killing Joke, right? That story, the Batman story. What's the point of having Barbara Gordon in there, right? Like, What does the Joker need to shoot her for? Like, you know, if you're going to tell a specific story, it does matter if you're going to take out crucial characters from that specific story. So not having Thomas Wayne in a Flashpoint story doesn't make sense. And I don't really particularly care for alternatives. Now, I'm not saying it needs to be a direct adaptation. All I'm saying is you don't take out crucial characters if you're taking a specific story. If you want to tell a general Flash story, fine, do that. You don't need Thomas Wayne in a general Flash story. You can make up a Flash story if you want to. But if you're telling me this is the specific story this movie is going to be about, you can't just take the characters out. So yes, Thomas Wayne, you know, needs to be in there. And yes, we need Jeffrey Dean Morgan to play Thomas Wayne. Please. Please, 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 please. Like, WB, man, hold on, man. Y'all have had a rocky relationship with your live action. Rocky. It's not hard to just do some things right. You're getting Keaton. Good job. People want Thomas Wayne and Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Just do it. You know, like, the casting shouldn't be an issue. I'm hoping y'all get this. The fact that the script didn't even have Thomas Wayne. Man, this is why I can't trust DC sometimes, man. This is why I can't trust y'all live action. Why wouldn't you? Okay. Let's move on. So the bigger news of this past week has come from Anthony Mackie, aka the Falcon from the Falcon and Winter Soldier series coming up on Disney Plus. He basically put out some criticism saying that Marvel has some diversity issues, right? During a sit-down interview with fellow actor David Riggs for Variety's online series Actors on Actor, Mackie strongly criticized Marvel Studios for its lack of diversity behind the cameras. Mackie had this to say: "It really bothered me that I've done 7 Marvel movies where every producer, every director, every stunt person, every costume designer, every PA, every single person has been white." Mackie went on to illustrate his argument by citing Black Panther and the fact that it had a largely black cast and crew, and he went on to say, "That's more racist than anything else. Because if you only can hire the black people for the black movie, are you saying that they're not good enough when you have a mostly white cast?" Alright, now, there's a lot to deal with here, right? So I initially completely understand what Mackie is saying. Mackie is saying essentially that, you know, there is an issue with Marvel where you can have all these other movies and they're all white casts, and then when it's time for the black movie, that's when you want to hire a black cast and crew. That's fair. That is fair, because the real question is, if everyone's equally qualified on the black cast and crew and the white cast and crew and all that, why aren't they mixed up? Why don't they have the same opportunities? Why does the black crew have to wait for a black movie just to get an opportunity to do the same equally qualified job as the other cast and crews from these other Marvel movies? That is an entirely valid point for Mackie. Now, my only criticism here, because I caught some flack on Facebook, on my Facebook fan page. If you haven't followed, you need to follow that. That's where we have breaking news and conversations every day. But on there, I had basically said that I knew what Mackie was saying, but I didn't think he articulated it well. And what the only point of contention I had was, I don't think that using Black Panther was a great example in terms of saying it was racist. Now, I get what he was saying, right? I just illustrated that. The only pushback I would have is saying I wouldn't say that what happened with Black Panther was racist. I would actually just say it was problematic, right? And the reason why I say that is because the reasoning behind the casting in Black Panther is actually what we want in film and entertainment in general. Yes, what they did in Black Panther, you know, they did have black PAs, black directors, black writers, black cast, and all of that stuff, and black producers. And the reason for that was not racist. The reason for it was because they were like, hey, you know what? For too long, stories that come from, you know, black people, from women, or whatever, you know, group you want to talk about, don't get the opportunity to tell and show those stories in their own way or in their own voice or perspective. So Black Panther was actually an opportunity for Marvel to kind of get it right. Kind of similar to Captain Marvel. Like, they were like, hey, you know what? We need like a female perspective to tell a female story, you know, because there is some uniqueness there. It's not to say that a man can't do it or whatever, but there is something unique when you can let someone tell a story from their own unique perspective. And given the nature of Hollywood in general, how, you know, if there was, let's say, a black story or something like that, and you have people that don't really understand the black experience or don't understand the cultural nuances within black culture, well then if you have a non-person of color telling that story, it doesn't feel authentic. It feels awkward. It feels just weird and disingenuous. So Black Panther was an opportunity for Marvel to be like, yeah, all right, you know what? We hear you. You want to tell your stories in your own way. Here's that platform. Here's your opportunity. So that's why I say it was not racist that Black Panther had the all-black crew or whatever. That's not racist. That's actually what we want. We want people to have opportunities to tell stories in their own way. But he still made a very good point, and that's why I say it was just problematic. It is problematic that you only gave this opportunity when there was a black movie. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure that black producer could have also done, you know, different movies. Or I'm pretty sure that, you know, the black PA or whoever, the camera lighting person or whatever, I'm sure they could have done other Marvel movies. So, yeah, Mackie definitely had a point in my opinion. Again, I just kind of think he should have said that it was problematic and not necessarily racist. But that's just my opinion. What do you guys think about what Mackie had to say about Marvel? I mean, I already saw some people kind of, you know, making memes and stuff saying that he better be careful and not turn into Terrence Howard. You know, personally, I don't really think it's going to be the same situation, but you never know, whatever. But anyway, let me know, what did you think about Mackie's comments? Does Marvel have a diversity problem? Anyway, that's all for today. I certainly appreciate you all taking the time to watch my video. I have actually, just to keep you guys updated, I've been watching the Watchmen series finally because HBO made it free, and I am loving it so far. I've got like 3 or 4 episodes left, but my goodness, that's an interesting show. I will just say that it's an interesting show. Regina King is phenomenal. This is definitely some gold, and I certainly hope that HBO will do that season 2. I'm not even done with it, and I already want a season 2. But anyway, what are you guys watching right now? Let me know in the comments, because I'm very interested to see what else I should start after I get done with Watchmen. Thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my video. I certainly appreciate it. Well, I got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.